Okay, so Zayed, you understand how this violates CPR, right?
Yes, sir,
I,
definitely.
I would not accept this from an officer, a PO1, anywhere up through the chief of the department. I personally launched an internal affairs investigation into uh, Commander Townsend when he was a captain for something that was less severe than this. There's certain standards we must uphold to be pillars of the community. And I'm sorry, as a cadet, it's entirely unacceptable, and we have a zero tolerance policy. I hate to do this, Cadet Zayed, but I'm gonna have to have you turn in your badge.
I'm sorry, sir. You want me to turn my badge for a simple mistake I've done, and it was just because of an act and of good intentions?
It's not. It's an unacceptable mistake. Other officers heard it. Other officers reported it. Other civilians have heard it. That civilian, that gangbanger, whoever he was, he goes out to his street, tells his friends that how we treat people, we're gonna see dead cops.
But but wait, where is don't I at least deserve a warning first? And didn't I already get a warning from Detective Emmy Cross? Like,
I,
how are you guys? Like, I don't get it. Like, I get a warning from Detective Emmy Cross, and now you come to me and take my badge. How does that even make sense, Detective?
well,
I mean, Sergeant.
Detective Cross was probably giving you a warning because she understood that it would take some time for us to start this case and talk to you. Um, so, in case you were to go on duty before
No,
we were
giving,
able to
sir.
talk to you.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. Sergeant. Giving a warning means actually, like, giving a warning. Like, refrain from doing this again. As a cadet, you're not supposed to do this. As a police officer, let alone as a police officer, you're not supposed to do this again. This is a clear warning. But taking my badge with no warning, how does that make sense, sir? Like, are you saying that none of you guys go through mistakes like this as cadets? Yeah? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is cadets who make mistakes like this have their contracts terminated. I've seen it with my
Yeah.
own eyes. I've been
With with
involved in
with
it.
no warning? Is that what you're saying?
I've seen cadets pull an AR when an AR is warranted without permission, and they get themselves terminated. So
But I did
yes,
not do that. This
I
this is involves killing. Pulling an AR involves killing
no,
people,
no, no,
involves
no, no.
shooting.
You
No, sir,
violate. You,
can I please continue, sir? I've took your time to speak. Can I please speak?
sure.
Sir, what I'm saying is exactly pulling it. Do not compare this with pulling an AR ever. When you pull an AR. I worked hard for this position. I've been trying my best to be a cadet and to be a police officer. I have went a lot of through a hell of a time to go through my FTPs, and you just come and tell me, oh, I just want to take your badge. How does that even make sense without even a warning? And I actually got a warning from Detective Emmy. Now, I'm sorry, sir. Before you make a move like this, yeah, you have to you have to cross-check with Detective Emmy before sending me that warning email. This is number one. Number two, when you give me the warning and I admit to it that I actually did that mistake, but I did it out of good intentions because I want him to believe that I'm like I wanted him to believe that the act that's going on. Is it my fault that I volunteered into this act? Is that what you're saying? Is that what costed me my badge?
It's not. I don't know why Detective Cross sent you that warning. I have no idea why she
How
did.
is
But
that,
I'm telling
sir?
you, sir,
But
cadet. What,
go
what
ahead.
I'm telling you is all of the cadets fall underneath training command. I am the head of training command, and I will not have a cadet become an officer in this department that blatantly violates CPR when they're still a cadet. Like, this is the time when you can't fuck up. And
But
this is a
but
fuck
sir,
up.
I
This is
did
a
not.
serious fuck
I
up.
I probably violate if I actually violated a CPR would be against an actual civilian, but I know it was Detective Palladino. You see the difference here? You see the difference? I'm very aware that I have made my mistake, but I probably did this out of the good intention of making the civilian to believe and act, our 1015 to believe and act. How is that? How is that? Like, you see, it's like I dropped an egg and it broke, and you're putting me to jail for this. This is literally the ratio of the punishment and a mistake. I get it. I get the fact that you would take this strictly as a CPR violation, but if you really look into it, this was a CPR violation, which is true, but it was a CPR violation against Detective Palladino, not against a civilian. And I explained my intentions. A warning would be fair, but taking my badge that I worked hard for it, I don't think that's fair.
I mean, unfortunately, we're not here to be fair, right? We try our best to be fair. But
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What did you say?
This,
You are
this,
not
is,
here to be
this
fair.
is a very hard job, and it's only going to get harder, right? And if you're already violating CPR before your boots are on the ground and your shoes are tied, I am not in good conscience going to be able to pass you as a police officer one in this department. So I'm going to have to terminate your contract.
Oh, so this is so you're not here to discuss this with me. You're here just to take my badge.
Essentially, yes, sir. I heard your side of it. You've given your side of it. I do not see enough compelling evidence to change my decision at this point. I've spoken to witnesses that witnessed it. I'm sorry.
No, you're not, sir.
I am. I truly am. You had a lot of promise in this department, but I cannot abide by having somebody violate
No,
CPR.
you're not abiding here. You're not abiding by anything. What you're doing is you're just taking my badge for a simple mistake that I have done, which I deserve to be warned for, but not deserve to be taking my badge for. I think you have to look into your AI and look into your punishments you give to the certain mistakes that has been done. Yeah, you just compared my mistake to pulling out an AR from the deck. That is what you did.
I've stated another situation where a cadet has made a mistake and it loses them their job. Simple as that. And
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have to explain myself. I really don't. I'm doing you a courtesy.
So wait, so right now you're doing me a courtesy? You know what? Who questions your decisions?
I am the head of You want another officer? Sure. Hold on a second.
You did a bit.
4804 to King 10. How copy?
And
in
the skit,
Can you come to the IA office, please?
so in the skit they call Charlie Murphy.
One to Westmere, I can hear your radio.
Commander Townsend?
Yes, Sergeant.
I was explaining to Cadet Zaid about the situation in regards to his violation of CPR.
Mm-hmm.
And he is questioning the decision, wants to know who overlooks me. So,
I guess that would be me.
That's perfect. All right. Would you, Sergeant Ficati, would you tell him the reasons, or does he know?
Commander Townsend, I am terminating Cadet Zaid's contract as the head of the training division in regards to the internal affairs complaint that was filed, in regards to statements that he made to undercover officer Palladino in public, in the holding cell, where other officers and arrested civilian could hear. I'm not going to repeat the comments.
Okay.
They're on the case file that you can see.
And he has full authority to make this decision as head of training.
I get that, but the thing is, I've got a warning already from Detective Emmy, and now
Yeah,
he
that
comes and
was
tells me you're
so.
terminated.
So she issued a warning. However, there was an internal affairs complaint filed after the fact. So if
Complaint by whom?
I can't release that information.
No, the thing is, this was between me and Detective Palladino. Like, how is that?
So, well, somebody filed an IA report.
Okay, but
So if
it's not concerning. I did not offend anybody, except playing an act of Detective Palladino. That's it.
what you said clearly broke breach of CPR and protocol. If an IA report wasn't filed, you'd probably just receive the warning from Detective Cross. However, somebody filed an IA report after you were warned.
The public expects our officers to be held accountable for their actions, and this a violation of CPR, so blatant when you're a cadet, is something that cannot be tolerated.
Yeah, Sergeant Verkazi, you have said your words already. Now, I just need to speak to the officer here now, because maybe I'm stupid enough to understand it from you. Maybe he would narrow it down for my small brain. Okay, sir. Now, what I'm saying is, he just said, like, first of all, he talked about another cadet who made a mistake of getting an AR rifle not and without permission, which I don't know how's that related to my mistake, but he's giving me apparently a quote unquote an example of another cadet's mistake, which actually totally different from mine. But okay, now that's the first thing he said. Now the second thing he says something about, like, I have breached the CPR, which I totally admit to, by the way, Sergeant Verkazi. I did break the CPR with good intentions of actually making the civilian believe the fact that we are arresting Detective Palladino.
You called somebody a racial slur. That's not good intentions.
Sir. All I did was I blended into the act. Maybe I overdid it, but that does not mean to take my hard-earned badge. Does that mean to take my hard-earned badge? And I admit to it, and I apologize, and I took the warning, and I sent back an email to Detective Emmy. I don't get it. How is that? How does that make sense? How's after all this? I thought this whole thing was past my back, and now and I was like starting a new page, and then Detective Sergeant Verkazi here comes to me with, "I want to take your badge."
11 Lincoln 3 dispatch. Show the situation at MD 10.
So
I'm now 10.
The situation is somebody filed an internal affairs report, which I have no authority over. I mean, technically I could probably override IA, but that would be an overreach of my authority, and I would do no such thing. Essentially, internal affairs is separate from our, internal disciplines, right? Like, for example, if you were in front of me and you did that, I would probably suspend you for a week. However, IA is a completely separate entity, and they decide what happens. So, and also, not only is Verkazi your superior officer as commanding officer of the training division, he's also a senior ranking member in internal affairs. So the decision is up to him. I can't do anything about that, so...
So what's the point of you being here, then?
I was called here.
You asked to speak to a superior officer, and I called.
Yeah, no. The thing is, like, if someone has to come into this room, right? He has to have a power as much as you, or even more than you, right? Am I correct?
So
I could fire Verkazi right now if I wanted to. That's how much power I have.
Correct.
I'm sorry. So if you could do that, you just said you cannot overrule his ruling.
No, I can't overrule his ruling. I can't override IA's ruling. That's an overreach of my authority. That doesn't look good to the public if I do that.
So you're just taking my hard-earned badge, just like that, with no warning whatsoever. You're just taking it, correct?
To be fair, when you called somebody a racial slur, you took your own badge.
No, that's the thing. It's not somebody. See, do you understand what I'm saying? It's not somebody. It's an undercover cop who I
Doesn't
know
matter
and he
who
knows
it is.
Doesn't matter who
That's
it
even
is.
worse.
That's worse. You called a fellow brother in arms a racial slur.
That's to blend in an act. That's for good intentions. Are you trying to frame me here?
What do you mean good? There's no such thing as good intentions when you use a racial slur.
No, there was. It was an undercover cop in an act next to a
That does
civilian.
not matter. That does not matter.
What? What?
Using a racial slur to anybody, even a superior officer, is grounds for dismissal.
Okay, so as a detective, you're allowed to do that?
He just said
Wait.
using a racial slur
Hold
to
on
anyone
a
is
second.
grounds for dismissal.
Sergeant. My question is for him. As a detective, are you allowed to use racial slurs or
No.
or insult anybody?
What do you mean? It depends on the situation.
So if you're
But you're never allowed
undercover-
to use a racial slur.
If you're undercover detective, you're allowed to insult anybody, correct? Am I correct?
To keep their cover, yes.
Okay, so he's a brother. He's using like
Yeah, but he's doing that to maintain his cover. And he's not calling people racial slurs.
it's literally an insult. Like calling someone a pig is like bitch ass. How's that different?
It's not the bitch ass that's the problem here.
You know, that's not the problem. The problem is the racial slur.
Oh.
That's the problem. I don't know what you're not getting, picking up on that. But
Wait. Hold on. So you guys are taking my badge for this word?
yeah, and who you
Yeah.
said it to.
Holy shit, man.
I need any further, Sergeant Verkazi?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you, Commander.
This is fucked up, man. And someone needs to look over this IA bullshit. Are we done here? Is there anything else you want?
Nope, that's it. You can clear out your locker, and I'll escort you out.
Why am I here? Alright, whatever. Is Detective Cross on duty?
She has not, no. Do you have a question? I'm a superior officer.
Guys, fire people so easily, man. Jesus.
Never mind. Oh well, I'll just be leaving.
No. Mordecai, detain him if he doesn't.